Do you know how many times, I mean, there's like literally nowhere we can go that somebody is not asking another detailer how much they charge or how to set their prices. So let's talk about it. I'm gonna kind of keep it no BS. I'm not gonna sugarcoat anything. Hope I don't trigger people, but at the same time, I think it needs to be discussed. So the first thing that I want to talk about is there are veteran detailers, and they've done it to me. Many of them have done it to me, that will tell you that are not from your area. They will tell you you need to price up here. But what they're doing is causing unintended consequences to that. They're wanting you to set your prices along and competitively with them. Now, there are some detailers who unintentionally will do this, not realizing the implications. If your experience level is not for this price level, they're setting you up for failure. It is just the way it is, okay? In the beginning, you do have to start down here. First of all, your experience level does dictate your prices to a customer. Also, your experience level will also dictate your success if you are setting your prices up here. And if you do get a customer who's willing to pay that price, your detail did not turn out very well because you're not experienced with it. You're not experienced with the fabrics and the carpets. You may not have the right products on hand to handle a lot of problems. They just don't want to have to compete with somebody who's going to undercut them because they have an experience level up there, way up there. So they've earned it to where they can charge $650 for that disaster interior. So when you're setting your prices, experience is the first thing you need to take into consideration. So the second thing that you need to take into consideration is your market, your competitors, things like that. If you're starting your detailing business, say in Wichita, you better be calling my phone number and asking me how much I charge for an interior detail. Because no detailer should ever start your own business and set your own prices until you have taken the time to do some market research, meaning you need to call all of your competitors and find out how much they charge. So when you find out what they're charging, you're making a list. You don't even need to put their name down. You just need to know their prices. So then when you sit down after you have gone through all of the things that I'm going to tell you, you can sit down and come up with a package that's like right in the middle, maybe. Because in the end, your market is going to be your competition. You don't want to undercut your competition so much to the point that you look like a fool and nobody's going to pick you unless they're the cheap ones. And those are not the customers that you want because they're looking at a detail as something that this 25-year detailer did, and they're expecting you to deliver that result, and you only have 3 months experience. So you have to take your competitors into account when you set your prices. So the other thing that you have to think about, and this is number 3, is you have to think about your location. All right, so your location is going to dictate a lot. When I see those comments on those posts, whether it's Instagram, YouTube, Facebook, we've got somebody in the city of Charlotte, North Carolina, telling somebody in Paducah, Kentucky, they need to charge here. I wouldn't charge less than this. Paducah, Kentucky, your cost of living is no different than ours here in Wichita, Kansas. Charlotte, North Carolina, they got that Washington, D.C. economy going on, okay? Their cost of living is way up there. Yours is down here. You need to stop taking advice from people who do not live in your area, because that's maybe an unintentional setup for failure. The other thing, number 4, you need to set your prices like a business owner. Quit asking other people how to run your business. If you do not know how to run your business and you don't get out there and start watching YouTube University videos on business management and business ownership, entrepreneurship, and all of that, and you sit down and develop your price list and packages on your own, you're setting yourself up for failure. So in the end, you need to figure out how to run your business. You need to figure out how to be an entrepreneur. You need to figure out where you got to get that confidence. You need to figure out how to detail. And you need to learn how to be good at it. I wasted an entire year. And I had some pretty low prices, but I started stair-stepping them. But then I ran into a problem in my economy. My economy is predominantly aircraft manufacturing, and a lot of people are losing their jobs. If we look at people who have, the amount of people who have disposable income in my area, it dwindles down every day. That includes my competition, because my area is oversaturated. It's not just saturated, it's flooded with detailers. So I had to find a way to not be rich, but I had to find a way to survive, pay my bills, take care of my stuff. I had to not worry about the competition. I do not ask other detailers what they charge so that I can follow along with that structure. I sat down one night in my recliner chair. You guys have all seen it. I just sat right there and I made notes and I structured my business. But that comes with rebranding. And with that rebranding, I needed to make sure I had a good, solid structure that will help me to bring in the customers and survive. And I made my plan for 1 year. Okay, so that was in March. And I sat down and made all my lists. I even put down a price structure based on my location, based on my customer base, and how do I bring in new customers. And I made a structure that was going to help me survive for the next 365 days. I have not slowed down yet. The only time I slow down for detailing is when I go to work in the big truck. I am going to keep my part-time job until I know I've got some solid footing under me. That is something that I hope will change by the end of this year, especially now that we have decided to keep the shop. So I hope this helps you guys. I hope I didn't trigger a bunch of people, but in the meantime, I want everybody to consider what I said. I made some of the mistakes that I mentioned, and it is something that we as detailers, a mistake that we need to stop making. Otherwise, we're going to set ourselves up, because in the end, Detail Grandma is me. If I screw it up, it's going to fail because I screwed it up. Whether I was making bad decisions, not watching business videos, not learning how to create customers, clients, packages, structure, because business structure is huge. I actually paid for a business coach, and one of the first things that the business coach will tell you is you need to know the difference between an entrepreneur and a hustler, and you also need to know how to structure your business. Following others is nothing but a copycat, and eventually that will take you out if you do not perform. So I hope this helps, and remember, take care of you, take care of your family, and then get to detailing, because in the end, it's what's in your circle that matters first. All right? We'll see y'all later.